Welcome back, folks, to the True Alien Podcast. If you're here, you must have a thing for the strange and bizarre, right? The stories that make you go, wait, hold on, what? Yeah, we're right there with you. Aliens, UFOs, Bigfoot, all that good stuff. We love diving into these accounts, trying to figure out where the truth might be hiding, or if it's all just a good laugh. I'm Adrian Smith, and with me, as always, is the amazing Julia Jones, our resident paranormal probe.
Hey everyone, always happy to be here, Adrian. When Adrian throws these wild stories my way, my job is to sort of pick them apart, see if anything sticks. Are there any little nuggets of truth, any connections to other stories? Or sometimes, you just gotta admire a good, outlandish tale.
That's exactly it. Not about debunking, more about exploring. So today's paranormal probe takes us into a story that's, well, it's pretty out there. The story is called Blast Off Buckets, and the tagline: two janitors, a whole lot of bad luck, and they end up as the galaxy's most unlikely heroes, facing aliens, conspiracies, the whole shebang.
Oh, that sounds like a fun one. Space janitors turned heroes. I'm in.
You and me both. So imagine this. It's late, real late at NASA. Our main characters, Stan and Earl, are just two regular janitors working the graveyard shift. Their job, making shuttle simulators, astronaut vomit bags, all the glamorous stuff. Stan, he's the practical one, just trying to get through the night. Earl, on the other hand, conspiracy theories are his bread and butter. Loves a good ghost story.
That's a dynamic you see a lot in these kind of stories, right? The skeptic and the believer. Makes you wonder if it's like a reflection of how we all approach the unknown.
Totally. So picture Stan, probably bored out of his mind, suggesting they check out the brand new Orion capsule. Apparently, it has these zero-gravity toilets, top-of-the-line stuff. Earl, not so keen. He gets this weird vibe from the capsule, like someone's watching them.
Ooh, foreshadowing. I love it. That intuitive feeling that something's not right. It's a classic element in these stories.
It really is. Even Stan feels a little off as they get closer. A strange jolt, a faint hum, a flicker of light from inside the cockpit. But Stan, trying to act tough, calls Earl a scaredy mop and suggests they just peek inside.
That's a quick peek. That's when you know things are about to get crazy.
Oh, yeah. They get to the capsule, and bam! The door slams shut. Engines roar to life. Everything goes white. The story says Stan's scream is completely swallowed up by the noise. Imagine that, going from zero to space travel in, like, a second.
Talk about sensory overload. 1 minute you're on Earth, the next you're hurtling through space. I can't even imagine.
Right. When they finally get their bearings, they're just floating there inside the capsule, looking out at the Earth. It's beautiful, but also terrifyingly small. Earl, in a moment of pure clarity, says, "Stan, I think we done messed up," holding his mop like it's a life raft.
The mop. That's amazing. It's like their only connection to normalcy in this whole insane situation.
Totally. So they're freaking out, obviously, when a voice crackles over the comms. It's Lunar Base Artemis, asking who they are, what they're doing. Stan, trying to sound coherent, says, we clean stuff. We got lost, maybe.
We got lost, maybe. That has to be the understatement of the century. You'd think Lunar Base would be a little more, surprised.
Right. But instead, there's this silence, and then a much creepier voice comes through. Alien test subjects confirmed. Prepare for capture and analysis. Analysis. Earl, predictably, starts to panic. But Stan, his brain goes straight to B-movies.
The power of pop culture. Sometimes those outlandish scenarios are all we have to make sense of the truly bizarre.
Exactly. They don't have weapons, they're not equipped for space battles, but they do have their cleaning supplies. Suddenly, disinfectant spray is their blaster, mops are their staffs, and they even use a wet floor sign as a shield.
Pure genius. Who would think of that in space? It's brilliant.
So the airlock opens, and there they are, the classic gray aliens in hazmat suits. Can you picture it?
Yeah.
Two janitors with mops versus aliens in hazmat suits. It's hilarious.
That's something out of a bad sci-fi movie, but for them, it's
Yes.
real. And the idea of them spraying disinfectant in zero gravity, I love it.
It gets better. Earl, in a moment of pure inspiration, starts yelling about intergalactic mold spores.
Mold spores! Amazing. Talk about an unexpected weapon.
And it works. The aliens, totally caught off guard, start sneezing and retreating. And to top it all off, the wet floor sign causes one of the alien scientists to slip and crash into their laser net. Seriously, you can't make this stuff up.
It's so ridiculous, it's almost believable. Like, who expects a cleaning crew to save the day?
Right. Stan, exhausted, leans against the wall, his trusty mop looking worse for wear. Just when they think they might have started an intergalactic war, a new voice comes over the comms. Clear, human, and it says, "Unidentified heroes, this is NASA." We kind of sort of owe you one.
Kinda, sorta. Just putting it mildly. They accidentally launched these guys into space, and
Yeah.
then they saved the day with cleaning supplies. NASA owes them a lot more than kinda, sorta.
Totally. It turns out it was a series of crazy coincidences. A last-minute change of the cleaning schedule, someone hitting the launch button by mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actual launch button, and their little battle. Well, from Earth, it looked like humanity's first contact with a hostile alien species, and that we won thanks to some really good cleaning.
Imagine being the person at NASA who had to explain that. It's almost too good.
So Stan and Earl, these two everyday guys, become intergalactic heroes overnight. NASA, either super grateful or trying to cover up their mess, offers them a ride home, or the chance to lead a brand new division, the Space Custodian Corps.
The Space Custodian Corps, I can totally see it. An elite team of cleaners armed with the latest in space-age cleaning tech, keeping the galaxy spotless.
And perfect Stan, just grins, lifts his mop, and says, guess someone's got to keep this galaxy clean. It's perfect, right? Proof that heroes can come from anywhere, with any tools.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder what other ordinary jobs might be secretly saving the galaxy. Maybe the space postal workers are preventing wars, or alien civilizations have their own version of, like, a really good plumber.
Who knows? That's what we're here to explore. So, Julia, Paranormal Probe time. This story is wild, but how much of it could even remotely be possible?
All right, let's be real. An accidental launch because of a cleaning schedule change and someone pressing the wrong button. I mean, NASA has safety protocols for a reason, right? That part of the story. Pretty far-fetched.
Makes sense. But what about their defense strategy? The disinfectant, the mop, the sign.
Okay, so maybe a squirt of disinfectant wouldn't take down an alien, but it might be distracting, right? And in zero gravity, anything floating around could cause chaos. So given what they had, I'd say they did pretty well.
And what about the aliens? Classic grays in hazmat suits. What do you make of that?
Well, the gray alien is pretty much a cultural icon at this point. And the hazmat suits. Maybe aliens are worried about germs, too. It's a fun detail that makes you think about how different, but also similar, we all might be.
Definitely adds to the humor, which is a big part of this story. Do you think that's why we enjoy these kinds of tales?
I think so. It lets us explore these crazy ideas without taking them too seriously. Two janitors with mops fighting aliens. It's funny. And sometimes we need a good laugh, especially when dealing with the unknown.
So beyond the laughs, do you think there's a bigger message here? A metaphor, maybe?
That's interesting. On the surface, it's just a silly story, but maybe it is saying something about heroes. Stan and Earl weren't astronauts, they were just doing their jobs. But when things got crazy, they stepped up. It reminds us that anyone can be a hero, even if they're just using a mop.
Love that. Well, Julia, this paranormal probe into the legend of Stan and Earl has been amazing. Always love hearing your thoughts.
And it makes you think, right, what other unexpected heroes are out there? Maybe we're all playing a part in something bigger, even if we don't know it.
That's the perfect note to end on. Huge thanks to Julia Jones for joining us. And all you listeners, thank you for being part of the Tree Alien podcast. Don't forget to rate, follow, share the show if you're loving it. It helps us keep bringing you these weird and wonderful stories. Join us next time as we delve into another corner of the unexplained. And until then, keep looking up. And maybe give your local janitor a high five. You never know. They might just save the galaxy someday.